caregiving. That's what we're here to talk about. Right out of the chutes, there's something, this often happens with the language in this stuff. Words aren't adequate. I think those of us who have been around caregiving know that it flows in both directions. Caregiving and care receiving go together. And there's the person who's the patient, and there's the caregiver, but that makes it sound like it's this sort of one-way street. So forgive our English language, we'll try to come up with better words, but just to note, right out of the chutes, caregiving has to go in all directions. All right. Let me move so what is this role of a caregiver? What does it mean? Well, I mean, literally, obviously, you are providing care. You are caring for someone, sometimes caring at someone. This may be someone you love. This may be someone to whom you feel an obligation or a debt. This may be someone you don't feel you have any choice but to care for. This may be someone you get paid to care for. All of the above. And of course, each of those dynamics may have a different color or different flavor. But these are relationships, I guess, is the thing to get across. And so they'll be unique to the dynamic between you and the person you're caring for. And I'd like to say loved ones, caregivers. A lot of family members don't see themselves as caregivers, though that's what they're doing. I'd say loved ones are family, but that also leaves some folks out. So again, language is tricky. All of the above, and each of those dynamics will have its own gist. So it is a big thing to sign up for. In general, in our context of serious illness and chronic illness, these can be relatively long engagements. That's the right word. Those of we know we are living longer and longer with serious illness nowadays, months, years. So it's a big deal. And there are at this point something between 45 and 50 million informal caregivers in this country, meaning informal meaning unpaid. And that's mostly what we're speaking to here. And that's happening sort of on the side or quietly under the table in a way. And a lot of these caregivers are also trying to hold down jobs and tend to their own kids or their own lives or their own marriages, et cetera. So it gets very complicated. And this is one of those smoldering issues in the US where our healthcare system doesn't really address this big need. There's no training, there's no regulatory sort of function around this stuff. So it's a big and growing problem in a way. And the problem here is how do you stuff this piece of into your life while trying to tend to the rest of it? So that's part of what we'll talk about today. A psychological framing, that's just a little phrase to remind ourselves what I already said, that this is, I would encourage all of us to we can't see caregiving in purely sacrificial terms. I mean, maybe you can do that for a day or a week or something and kind of bite your lip and just kind of get through it and put the rest of your life on hold. But for the most part, that doesn't fly. It does not fly for very long. So we got to find a way to make this part of the daily routine of your life, part of how you care for yourself, part of how you see yourself in the world, not just this tacked on thing that you can squint through and get through.